Hey guys, first up, it's time to do a speed test comparison between the Xiaomi Redmi Note 11 Pro versus the Xiaomi Redmi Note 11 Pro. And the difference is that we have 6GB of RAM with 128GB of internal storage on this phone. And the grey color of the Redmi Note 11 Pro has a 8GB of RAM with 128GB of internal storage. And both phones is powered by MediaTek Helio G96 processor. Also, we have quad cameras on the back. Everything it is exactly the same on both phones except the RAM size. So in this video, I'm going to show you how is the 8GB of RAM Redmi Note 11 Pro is performing against the 6GB of RAM Redmi Note 11 Pro in the RAM measurement. So without any wasting time, let's get right into it. And guys, now let's quickly boot both of these phones up at the same time. Here we go. Let's see who is more faster. Again, we have MediaTek Helio G96. Also, we have Android 11 with MIUI version 13. Everything it is exactly the same on both phones except the RAM size. Let's see that. How is the 8GB Redmi Note 11 Pro is performing against the 6GB Redmi Note 11 Pro. Looks like the 8GB is little more faster. Yes, it is little more faster there. And you can see about 1 or 2 second difference there. Both phones has a 6.67 inch Full HD Plus Super AMOLED display with 120Hz refresh rate. And now let's see apps opening speed. Everything's closed up in the background. No application is running in the background. Now let's opening up phone dialer. That is exactly the same on both phones, which is obvious. So now let's opening up settings. Little more faster on the 8GB of RAM Redmi Note 11 Pro, if I'm not wrong. Now let's go to the display. And let me show you the refresh rate, and both phones has a 120Hz refresh rate. So now let's check out some more application. Now let's opening up Amazon shopping with same Wi-Fi network, and the 8GB of RAM Redmi Note 11 Pro little more faster there. Now let's see the scrolling, and that is exactly the same on both phones, no issue whatsoever. So now let's open this. Again, little more faster on the 8GB of RAM Redmi Note 11 Pro. Now let's check out some games application. Now let's opening up the Candy Crush Saga. And the Candy Crush is exactly the same on both phones. Again, we have dual speakers on both phones. Now let's open Instagram. Very similar. Now let's opening up Pinout. Pinout is also very similar, and you can see no difference. Now let's open Snapchat. Again, no difference. Now let's quickly open Spotify. Spotify is also exactly the same. Now let's quickly open the Subway Surfer. Subway Surfer should be similar as well. Yes, it is. It is exactly the same on both phones. No difference there. Now let's opening up the Temper Run 2. Should be very similar on both phones. Let's see at the end. Yes, it is very similar on both phones. No difference there. And you can see no difference there, exactly the same. Now let's opening up Pubg Mobile. The Pubg is open up exactly the same. Let's see who is more faster, and both phones is open this game at the same time. Now let's opening up the Twitter, and that is a little more faster on the Redmi Note 11 Pro 6GB of RAM variant. Now let's opening up Zedge, and Zedge is faster on the Redmi Note 11 Pro 6GB of RAM. Now let's see the scrolling, and that is really smooth on both phones. So last time launching the cameras on both phones, default camera application. Now let's see who is more faster. Both phones is open up exactly the same. Okay guys, now let's see internet browsing speed. I am seeing to follow Google Chrome on both phones. Now let's open this Wikipedia. That is very similar. Now let's see the scrolling. Very smooth on both phones, no issue whatsoever. So now let's quickly open this. Also very similar, no issue whatsoever. And next on the list is the apple.com, and apple.com is a little more faster on the 6GB of RAM Redmi Note 11 Pro this time. Now let's see the scrolling, and that is really smooth on both phones. 120Hz is exactly the same on both phones. Now let's check out RAM measurement on both phones, and this where we will see the real performance of the 8GB of RAM versus the 6GB of RAM. So now let's start off with the phone dialer, and that is refresh on both phones, and both phones also has an extended RAM feature. Now let's opening up settings, no refresh. Amazon shopping, refresh on the 6GB of RAM Redmi Note 11 Pro. Now let's opening up Candy Crush Saga refresh on the Note 11 Pro 6GB of RAM. Now let's open Instagram. Seems like in-app refresh. Now let's open up Pinout. Refresh on the 6GB. Now let's open Snapchat. Refresh again on the 6GB of RAM. Redmi Note 11 Pro. Now let's opening up Spotify. Refresh again. Now let's opening up Survey. Also refresh on the 6GB of RAM variant. Now let's opening up Temperance 2. Again refresh on the 6GB of RAM variant. Now let's quickly open up Pubg Mobile, and the Pubg is not refreshed. Now let's opening up the Twitter. No refresh. Zedge. No refresh. And last we're back to the internet browser, that is also refresh, and you can see on the 6GB of RAM Redmi Note 11 Pro. And guys, what I have to say regarding the app's opening speed, as you can see that in the game app loading time as well as in system based application, and both phones is performing exactly the same, which is obvious because we have a MediaTek Helio G96. No difference between these two devices, and the only difference between these two devices is in the RAM measurement, and you can see and the 8GB of RAM Redmi Note 11 Pro is performing incredible, while the 6GB of RAM Redmi Note 11 Pro is performing really bad in the RAM measurement. So you can see and the 8GB of RAM is more better in the RAM measurement overall in the boot up test as well as compared to the 6GB of RAM. Again, both phones has a 5000 mAh battery size with a 67 watt fast charging. So that's about it, and thank you so much for watching this speed test comparison between the Redmi Note 11 Pro 8GB versus Redmi Note 11 Pro 6GB of RAM. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel for daily tech videos and follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out.